Despite a late surge by Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson kept off a dominant 4 days of golf with a 66 on Sunday to win his 6th World Golf Championship in Mexico. Johnson added his already decorated resume by capturing his 20th career PGA Tour victory. And I'm here with Will Burns and David Flynt to break it all down. So guys, how meaningful of a win was this for Dustin Johnson? Well, let's start with you.
It was a very meaningful win for Dustin. Like you said, this is the 20th career PGA Tour victory for Dustin, which puts him in a class of his own in terms of his age. He's only 34. And that wasn't even the most impressive thing about this tournament. The most impressive thing was the fact that he basically lapped the field. The next guy down from him was Rory McIlroy, who was 5 strokes behind him. The next person down from Rory was 5 strokes behind him. So if Rory didn't play, he would have won by 10 strokes. So that just shows how dominant he was and how locked in he was in Mexico.
Going off that, I find it interesting you mentioned the late surge by Rory. I'm not sure a 5-stroke deficit qualifies as a late surge. I mean, he really didn't gain a whole lot in the final rounds. But he beat Rory, he beat Justin Thomas, who's been very hot lately. Tiger was up there for a little while, faded a little at the end, but obviously he's always a big presence when he's in the top 10. So very meaningful win for Dustin and bodes well for the rest of this year.
And this wasn't a no-name tournament. There were 46 of the top 50 players in the world playing in this. So the fact that Dustin basically lapped the field shows how impressive it really is.
David, you briefly touched on this. Based on this win, would you guys say that DJ is now a lock to win a major this year?
I don't know about a lock, but it certainly bodes well for his confidence. Being the very, very long hitter that he is and playing a course like Augusta, that bodes very well to his style. But historically, Dustin Johnson has gotten a little too good for his own good at times. I mean, remember that one time at the Masters where he was in the final pairing on Sunday and shot an 80. Just didn't have it, and I think it was he got so confident in how good he could do that when he lost a little bit of that momentum, he just couldn't get it back.
That's true. He hasn't exactly showed up in majors as people would expect. He only has 1 so far. Considering his PGA Tour victories, you would think he has more. But I do think he's a lock to win a major this year. He's the odds-on favorite based on Vegas to win the Masters, which is not surprising. He's been, like I said, extremely good as of late. His iron play, his driving is obviously always going to be good, but his short game is something that he's really turned up a notch, and that's something that he's been losing strokes to the field on, but now he's gaining strokes.
Well, because in the past, he just overpowered all the courses, and he didn't really need a short game when he was winning a tournament by a ton. Now, as the quality of players that he's been playing around has gotten better and better, he's had to fine-tune that short game, and it's become one of the best out there right now.
Exactly.
All right, well, certainly a good start to the year for DJ, and like Will said, currently the odds-on favorite to win the Masters. Hopefully going to be a good year for Dustin Johnson. But that's all the time we have left from the links. When we come back, we'll discuss some of the worst teams in the NFL, how they can get back on track.